Hey guys, Sean Hamlin with PremierGuitar.com. We are at SNAMM 2017 in Nashville, talking to Matthew from Alexander Pedals, right?
Pedals, yeah.
And we got Drew on the SG here playing this wacky shit through the syntax error.
Yeah, so this is our newest pedal. It's our take on sort of 80s and 90s video games, 8 and 16-bit era dial-up modem type sounds. Basically, we were going for something that could help you make your guitar sound like something more different. Yeah, not just another overdrive or distortion or whatever. So we were going for something that's hopefully a little more of a category defier.
And one of the big things I'm sure people saw you were manipulating an app on your iPad as we came in, and I mean there are a lot of pedals on the market that do wacky shit, but I mean, not many have apps like this. You want to talk about, where do you want to start talking about the features? There's tons of features, but...
Yeah, well, the first thing I just want to stress is that we have this to make it easier for us to tweak and show people. The pedal doesn't need any apps or extra controllers or anything. You can plop it on your board and get awesome results with it with nothing but 2 cables in your guitar. Now that said, for those who are a little more adventurous and want to dig in, there's a couple of options. The side of the pedal has got this red jack here, and this is for expression or a foot switch, or you can connect a MIDI controller to it. So all the disaster area MIDI controllers are compatible with this, all the Gen 3 and up. And anything that works with Empress pedals, Chase Bliss, or Maris is going to work with this. So there's a lot of stuff on the market now that can talk to MIDI over a 1/4 inch. So you can control everything on the pedal with MIDI if you want, but it's really easy to hook an expression pedal up to it and get some really good real-time control easily, inexpensively. You can even hook up just a foot switch to it and do the same thing. You tap the foot switch and it goes to the toe setting or the heel setting with a little bit of a ramp. Now on the iPad side, we've got this is just the Apple camera connection kit. If you have an Android tablet, you just need a USB host adapter, and those are really inexpensive. A lot of phones and tablets even include them. And then there's just a USB connection to the pedal, and we're using an app called Touch OSC by Hexler. It's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. It's $5, and we have a template that you can download from our website that you can load in and control everything. And if you want to change how the template works, they have an editor, and you can move stuff around in that so that if this isn't what you want, you can use our template as a starting point and develop your own thing if that's what you're into. So
now we guitarists on the whole are pretty Neanderthalic, and iPad stuff is like it's fine when we're like reading the news or on social media or whatever, but once it comes into the guitar realm, we're like, oh god, that's crazy. But so do you feel like this is more applicable for people who want to use it like in the studio or like reamping stuff, or for programming MIDI devices, or
I think for me the big benefit of this is being able to access the different controls and the presets very quickly, and have a visual indicator of where everything goes. So if we put the expression pedal down, you can see that our pots here, this pedal uses these 6 pots. So these 3 red ones, this purple one, and these 2 white ones. When we change presets, it shows the setting of the values in the pedal. So when we go to a new preset, it's going to say, oh, well, here's how the knobs are set. And when we sweep the expression pedal, some of the knobs move, some of them don't. Depending on the preset, all the knobs can move in different directions.
So you can really fine-tune the toe and heel points where they're taking each parameter to, and there are a lot more parameters to control in there than there are on the face of the pedal.
Right, there's 4 knobs on the face of the pedal, and then there's, on this pedal, as I said, there's these 2 extra knobs, and they're accessed by holding the select button. So you hold this button, and if your viewers can see that, it says in tiny, tiny type, hold Alt, right there on the middle. When you hold that button down, the LED turns a different color. On this pedal, it turns purple, turns violet, and then you're editing the other 2 knob positions. So you can control these extra things without going into a menu or anything. You just hold the button and turn the knob, and it works just like the other knobs.
Now, for people who, do you feel like the app is a must for that stuff, or for people who just want to plug in an expression pedal, can you dial in some stuff with just the knobs?
Yeah, the app really, we're showing it to you guys because it's super cool and we're geeks about this stuff. But we did 2 days of playing this whole show with a board behind us with a keyboard and drum machine hooked to it, and no iPad and no MIDI control, just a Moog EP2 expression pedal. Any pedal that's compatible with Roland stuff will work. EV5, the Mission stuff, anything like that, it's going to work great. And all you do is roll the expression down to the heel, set the pots, roll it to the toe, set the pots again, and you're done. That's it. You've set all the parameters you need.
Okay.
And you can sweep all 6 knobs in any direction by any amount. So it's literally morphing between 2 completely different sound settings on every preset.
Now, when we came into the video, what were you doing?
All I was doing, was sweeping the expression pedal. That was it. So in the preset that we were using, which is number 6 here,
and it was changing what?
On this one, we're in the stretch mode, and in the stretch mode, we're playing audio into a buffer, and then we're playing it back out again at a speed and a direction that you specify. So this code knob, the upper right knob here, is the buffer playback speed and direction. And this preset, if you guys can see on the iPad here, it's actually changing the code knob here, this Control 2. It actually changes that as I sweep it. And it also runs the mix a little bit wetter, because when we go into the reverse sort of thing, we want less of the dry signal, so the reverse is accentuated. So there's little tiny tweaks you can do like that. Like, as you increase the speed of something, you can decrease the mix so that it's less, less overwhelming or things like that. So there's all the pedal controls are they're tweakable like that. So you can say, oh well, it sounds good when you put this knob here, but maybe I should move this other one over here. And so if you need to move the mix from 85 to 100, then you can do that while you sweep the speed from 90 down to 10 or whatever you want to do. So we really leave it open. We're not, hopefully we're not telling you guys like, here's our pedal and this is what you must do to get the sound. We're saying, here's the tool, use it to build your own house. Here's a hammer, go pound some nails. We're trying to make tools for you guys to play. The coolest thing about this show with this pedal has been having people come by and like randomly move knobs, and we find stuff that we didn't even know was in there. We're continually surprising ourselves by finding new stuff that lurks in this pedal. And on our previous pedals, that would have been great, and then you never get it again, because as soon as you move the knobs, it's lost. But with these, you can just hold 2 buttons and it saves the preset. And then when the next guy comes over, you can say, hey, let me show you this thing that the last guy found. Check it out. And so we've also got a mechanism, this pedal, that lets you update and restore presets over the USB. So we're going to include some cool presets on the website for you to try. So you can download the presets with a free app on Windows or Mac and just load them into the pedal and say, oh, that's cool. That sucks. I don't like this. I like that. I hate all Matthew's presets, but Drew's ones are really cool. So you'll be able to kind of go in and try a bunch of different things. We'll have the factory bank that you can put back in, and it has factory presets. So it has some things that we think are cool. And if you don't like them, you can just delete them.
It can hold 4 presets.
So it has 4 presets on the pedal itself. So
and they come pre-programmed.
They come pre-programmed, and it's 1 preset for each sound mode. So there's 1 stretch, there's 1 cube, there's 1 ring, there's 1 shifter. So every mode there's a preset for all this. So when you just plop it on your board and plug it in like a regular Boss pedal or whatever, you hold this foot switch and it goes from preset to preset. So if you guys can see this. So it blinks 1 time to show that you're in preset 1. And if I hold it again, it blinks 1, 2 to show we're in preset 2. And now this one is obviously 1, 2, 3 times the lady for preset 3. And then preset 4, 2, 3, 4. When you're at preset 4, if you hold it again, it goes to preset 1 again.
I never would have expected a Lionel Richie reference when we're talking about this pedal.
Well, you don't know me very well.
That was good.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of techie nerd shit. Why don't we hear some of this weird shit?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our ring mode, and in this mode we have a ring modulator that's capable of doing some pretty cool and interesting stuff. The carrier of the ring modulator, so that's the signal that's doing the modulating, can go from sub audio, which sounds like this, so it's tremolo-ish, and we can increase the speed of that to far above, in the audio band, so it gets that kind of gargly ring mod sound. And at the same time, we can also add in some modulation so that it changes the speed of the ring mod as you play for a sort of, this is very video gamey here. We have
Frogger. I'm envisioning Frogger.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe Pitfall.
Yeah. So
Lionel Richie run through.
Yeah, all night long. And so this preset is just sort of mild to wild. But if you wanted to, you can turn the sample and hold off and just sweep the LFO carrier right here. So we're just sweeping the ring mod frequency.
Let's bring in the fuzz, man. The cops are coming.
Yeah. So the sound police are going to come shut us down in a minute, so we'll try to be good. And so the next one I want to show you guys is the cube mode. And the cube mode...
Cube?
Yeah, cube, C-U-B-E, like gleaming. So the cube mode, we call it cube because it's a digital fuzz, but what we're actually doing is we're multiplying this signal by itself, and then we're multiplying it by itself again. So we're squaring it, and then we're cubing it. So literally, I'm telling you how we do it. It's a bunch of math, man.
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, exactly. And so this cube, there's some kind of cool stuff going on with it. On Drill Play, there's a prominent upper octave at higher distortion settings, higher fuzz settings. So if you follow the normal octave fuzz rules, like neck pickup, tone knob down, play up high, you get stuff like this, these kind of screamy overtone things. And then as I roll the expression pedal, we're going to add in some sample crushing as well as some resonant filtering. And so it's going to get ugly real fast. So yeah, so you can do some cool stuff with it. It does work pretty well as a pseudo Octavia. But then you can add in this filter, and you can even tweak the resonance on that filter, but I'm not going to do it because it makes it really whistly and it'll get the cops over here real quick. So you guys can try that at home. And then we've got another mode on here, which is the shifter mode. And that's actually, it's not a pitch shifter. It's actually where is it? It's actually a frequency shifter, and a frequency shifter is kind of a weird thing. It shifts high frequencies and low frequencies by the same number of hertz, but it's not the same interval. So it's kind of like the whammy bar in your guitar, and then it shifts low frequencies a lot. So if he plays an open E, just a low E note, we get about a whole step. But if he plays a high E note, we get less, about a half step. And so basically when you hit this thing and you try to shift a chord, every interval in the chord is going to be off by a wrong amount, and the chord is going to go horribly out of tune. But the really cool thing about a frequency shifter is if you add some feedback to it and you actually blend in the shifted note with the unshifted note, you get stuff like, give me like an A minor, like a cowboy chord. You get this kind of like...
It's like a robot vocal quality to it.
Yeah, so, and we've also got a really short time delay that we can add in, like the way a flanger works. So we can add in this like super short time delay and get these like... And then every mode on this pedal has this sample crusher. So if we were to add in this sample crushing thing here, it gets real weird real quick. And of course you can sweep over that with the expression pedal. Yeah, so sorry we're overdriving the camera a little bit. So basically you can tweak all these modes to be as 8-bit as you want, actually more like 2-bit, but you can tweak them to be as crushed or as clean as you want. So if you're not into the crushing and you want to use the other effects, you just roll the knob down, and as soon as it's down at 0, it bypasses that whole section. So
very cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could talk endlessly about all those features, but I think people get the idea. Do you want to tell them where to go to find out more? And actually, how much is it going to be?
Well, that's the great part. It's $199.99, so it's the same price as all of our other standard series pedals. This is our new Neo series, and so this is the same size and form factors are our other pedals that have been really popular, but it's got MIDI, presets, expression, foot switch input, and it's the USB updatability. So if we come out with if we need to fix something or we need to add something, it's a 5-second thing to update the firmware in this. It's really easy, drag and drop. And so you can check these out on alexanderpedals.com. We've got a product page up with more information about all the modes and the controls. Happy to answer any questions. Send us an email through that. These will be shipping to our dealers around the end of August.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Sean Hammond for PremierGuitar.com.